Good evening and thank you very much for joining us on the news. My name is Kemi Akin Oluwadari. The Ekiti State Governor, Mr. Biodun Oyebanji, says he has concluded on what his administration could offer as wage palliatives for workers in the state in tune with the available limited resources. He gave the information at this year's Ekiti State Christmas Carol and 9 lessons held at the Obafemi Awolowo Civic Center, Fajri at Ekiti. The governor assured citizens of a better year 2024. Our reporter, Toba Babalala, has more.
The Carol Service and 9 Lessons is an annual event to exemplify the spirit behind the Yuletide. Governor Oyebanji was joined at the service by his wife, Dr. Olayemi Abiodun Oyebanji, Deputy Governor of Kinwa Minister Afuye, SSG, Head of Service, top government functionaries, clergy, traditional rulers, politicians, and civil servants. The 5th, 6th, and 7th Bible lessons were taken by the governor's wife, Dr. Olayemi Abiodun Oyebanji, Deputy Governor, Minister Afuye, and Governor Abiodun Oyebanji. The mass choir, women in management, women in government, House of Assembly choir, and the state cultural troupe led the gathering to different carol tunes. Governor Oyebanji led the ESCO members and body of permanent secretaries in a special number. His address, the governor said the outgoing year had been of bountiful blessings from God and acted the well-to-do to extend ends of love to the needy during this season. Governor Oyebanji urged the organized labor to consider the limited available resources in the state, which must be used judiciously to attend to others in the informal sector.
And I plead with labor to accept it, because it should push us further. We won't be able to sustain it. That is the truth. It should push us further. Pension will suffer, gratuity will suffer, deduction will suffer. So it's better we do this in a way and manner that everybody will be happy, so that no section will feel neglected. But whatever we say we are going to do, with or without fact, we will pay you. That is the truth.
Those at the gathering interceded for the governor, his cabinet members, Ekiti State and Nigeria at large. Toba Babalola reporting.
In the meantime, the Ekiti State Head of Service, Mr. Sunday Komalafe, has assured civil servants that the wage award by the government would be implemented soon. He gave the assurance while featuring on the BSES News and Current Affairs program, Daybreak Nigeria, to commemorate this year's Civil Service Week. Tosin Oluwo completes the story.
We appreciated the commitment of civil servants to work as government engine room explained that negotiations are ongoing between the government and the labor leaders. He assured them of appreciable progress.
That the state government, in every opportunity he has had since this issue of weather work, has always been telling the labor leaders he's very much aware and is ready to, but we don't want to make a pronouncement which will fulfill this one and will not be able to continue. Sustainability is very, very important to the labor leaders. And all things being equal, and believing in the way we are going, before this December, we reach a final conclusion.
He thanked Governor Biodun Oyebanje for creating an enabling environment for civil servants to work. The head of service acknowledged the governor's effort in the regular payment of salaries, approval of housing and car loans, and conversion of temporary staff in MDAs to permanent staff.
Energy, able to power our equipment secretariat, and therefore it has one way or the other improve. Before when you call somebody secretariat, please, where is the return of this? That we have no license money. That excuse is no longer taken. So, like I said, the rate of turnover and rest as increased tremendously. And like I said, continue to appreciate government. Those are the things I said that governors are giving us a very good conducive atmosphere to be able to perform. And like I said,
on the issue of corruption in the service, Mr. Komalafe explained that government has created departments that would help in checking the excesses and monitor activities of MDAs.
Spent the Bureau of Public Procurement is there. There's another now project of independent monitoring unit created by the government to have government to be able to monitor project and show that what we have certified is up and doing. Then the office of transformation and service delivery is also there to checkmate, not to talk of both the internal audit unit and the external audit unit. So all these things are there to checkmate and to reduce to the barest minimum corruption in the public service.
Mr. Komalafe therefore appealed to civil servants to embrace all the activities lined up for the week and see them as venue to appreciate their own value as the engine room of government. Tosun Lowo reporting.
In the meantime, the 2023 edition of the Civil Service Week celebration in Ekiti continued today with a novelty match between permanent secretaries and women in management at the Oluyemi Kayode Stadium in Ado. An interactive session with officials from grade level 2 to 6 is scheduled to hold tomorrow between 10 in the morning and noon at the Cultural Center in Ado, while officers on grade level 7 and above will camp up between 1 and 3 in the afternoon. On Thursday, there will be environmental sanitation across the MDAs. Thereafter, awards will be given to outstanding civil servants by Governor Biodun Oyebanje. Jumat service will hold on Friday, while the event will reach its climax with church service and Thanksgiving on Sunday at the government chapel. The Ekiti State government has reassured families, dependents, and relations of fallen heroes of more commitment to their welfare. Governor Biodun Oyebanje gave the reassurance during the launch of Emblem Appeal Fund for the 2024 Armed Forces Remembrance Day celebration at the Lady Jibowu Hall, Government House ground in Ado. Adedayo Adeleye was there.
Governor Oyebanje was represented by his deputy, Okinlo Amunisade Afuye, launched the sale of emblem with 1 million naira. He said that the launch of the emblem was aimed at rekindling government's interest in the plight of the families of the fallen heroes who lost their lives in the course of serving their fatherland.
This occasion is also an avenue to showcase our support and to acknowledge the roles, contributions, and selfless services of our fallen heroes. The celebration therefore expresses our deep appreciation to these gallant heroes and aimed at boosting their morale and their discharge, their heroic commitment to the country and the humanity.
Governor Oyebanje noted that the ceremony was to let retired soldiers and serving officers note that their labor shall never be in vain, as they will always be recognized and remembered. He added that government will do everything possible in ensuring that the welfare of the dependents of the departed received the needed attention.
We shall remain committed to the unity and peace of this great country. Since the inception of Mr. Governor administration, one of the major tasks is to ensure the security of life and property in the state, as much as you can witness. This administration has continued to improve on the security of the state, and we will not be deterred in sustaining the existing peace. To sustain the peace, we will continue to collaborate with all relevant security agencies to do the needful, so that the good people of the state can live without fear of security breaches.
Earlier, the Permanent Secretary, Office of Establishment and Service Matters, Mr. Muftau Shitu, said that the occasion was to remember the fallen heroes who fought gallantly for the oneness of the country.
It's worthy to note that Nigeria appreciates and honors the memory of our gallant officers who have paid the supreme sacrifice in order to keep the country united as an entity. The nation remains grateful for their efforts and sacrifices.
Also speaking, the chairman, Nigerian Legion, Ekiti State, Colonel Abdulrazak Atoki retired, thanked the governor for his support for the Legion since assumption of office.
The launch is aimed at raising funds to assist the family members of our gallant men who have lost their life, to make sure we live in peace. This is the only way to appreciate our fallen heroes for their great sacrifice for the nation.
In attendance at the event were the dependents of the fallen heroes, members of the State Executive Council, service chiefs in the state, among others. Adedayo Adele reporting.
The Ekiti State Governor, Mr. Biodun Oyèbánjí, has called for the return of the artistic works of the renowned wood sculptor, the late Olowe. Oyèbánjí, who made the call during his visit to the residence of the sculptor at Ise-Ekiti, promised to build a museum in honor of the deceased. Toba Babalola was there.
To bring back home all his works taken away from him.
The Ekiti State Governor said a committee will be set up from government, community representatives and family to work on modalities and how to achieve the plans. Contributing, Senator Babafemi Ojudu, who explained his contact with Baba Olowe's work in America about 16 years ago, said it has become a source of revenue generation for the U.S. government. He supported the move for the repatriation of all the works back home.
It's going to sell our state. It's going to put our state and itself on the map of the world. Because the man we are celebrating, unlettered, uneducated, he didn't go to school, he's already on the map of the world. But people do not even know that he comes from a particular place, which is Ekiti State. And we should laud the governor for what he has set out to do.
The Arinjale of Ise-Ekiti, Oba Adetunji Ajayi, who had earlier performed some traditional rites on behalf of the family and community, welcomed the move. The late wood sculptor, popularly known as Olowe of Ise, was a wood sculptor and master innovator in the African style of design, known as Ojuono. He is considered by Western art historians and collectors to be one of the 28th century artists in the Yoruba land. Toba Babalola reporting.
The Deputy Governor, Okinlo Amunisade Afuye, has restated government's readiness to combat cases of school dropouts, maternal mortality and joblessness in the state. Okinlo Afuye gave the reassurance while receiving the Southwest Regional Consultant on Human Capital Development, Dr. Adeyeye Adeoju, in her office in Ado. She noted that Governor Biodun Oyèbánjí had made healthcare accessible to residents and massive employment in the civil service. He described human capital development as one of the pillars of the Oyèbánjí administration. The Ekiti State Government has directed the Land Dispute and Boundary Committee to wade into the crisis between Efon and Ikole Loro to forestall bloodshed. The committee comprises the Permanent Secretary, Office of the Deputy Governor, Mr. Abayomi Opeyemi, and the Surveyor General of the State, Mr. Adebayo Faleto. Others include the Secretary, State Boundary Commission, Mr. Olalekan Olajide, and other experts. They are to visit the disputed land to ascertain the true ownership of Iwaji community. About 1,000 beneficiaries across 3 local government areas in Ekiti State have received Christmas gifts from the Ekiti State Governor Biodun Oyèbánjí under the Ojushebao initiative. The team, led by the Senior Special Assistant, Governor's Office, Mrs. Shola Abi, visited Oye, Boyi, and Ekiti East local government areas. Our reporter, Yemi Olajutem, was there.
The governor's team visited Oye, Ilupeju, Ire, Ode, and Omo Ekiti, giving cash gifts to petty traders to support their businesses and food items to the aged. Mrs. Abe, who highlighted the broader scope of the Ojúṣe Báò, said the December edition of the monthly help rendered to indigent citizens was to reach out to people who had no opportunity to seek official help from the government.
We need to know those people, they need help, they need assistance, but they might not even know where to get the help. So that's why the governor, in his own wisdom, said we should start this program to reach out to people. So not necessarily when there's campaign, that's when you get assistance. Even when the governance is actually in place, people can still get assistance from the government, and he understands that this is his responsibility as a leader and is what he intends to do. If you see behind, it says leave no one behind. He wants everyone. He speaks about shared prosperity. He wants everyone to be able to feed at least their family.
The Oloye of Oyekiti, Oba Ademola Ademolajo, who lauded the governor for reaching out to the needy, said his administration had made the traditional council proud within the space of 1 year.
This is somebody who is aware both inside and outside the community. He knows what to do at the appropriate time. And he's aware of those things those people before him didn't do. He's actually doing it now.
The beneficiaries who thanked the governor said the initiative came as a surprise to them as they prayed for the success of his administration. Yemi Olajutemu reporting.
In another development, the train of the Ojúṣe Báò, a monthly initiative of the governor to assist the less privileged in the society, has landed in Ekiti Southwest, Bonyi and Ikole local government areas of the state. This month's edition was specifically made to reach out to people who had no privilege to seek assistance from the governor by giving them Christmas gifts. Our reporter, Yemi Olajutemu, who was on the entourage, led by the Senior Special Assistant in the Governor's Office, Mrs. Shola Abi, explained that the team visited Igbaraudu, Aisegba, Iluomoba, Ijesha-Ishu, and Oduoro in Ikale local government area to spotlight small-scale marketers. Cash gifts ranging from 5,000 to 10,000 naira were given to petty traders, while hundreds of the aged were given food items for the festive season. The beneficiaries were excited and thanked the governor for the Christmas gifts, which came as a surprise to them. About 32 secondary schools in Ekiti who recently distinguished themselves in their studies have been given prizes by members of the Ekiti Association in Houston, Texas, United States. The ceremony took place at the Christ School Alumni Association Hall in Ado. Our reporter, Toba Babalola, completes the story.
The maiden edition of the annual prize giving was attended by the award recipients, their parents, traditional rulers, officials from the State Universal Basic Education Board, Ministry of Education, Youth and Development, as well as Teaching Service Commission, TESCOM. Representatives of Ekiti indigents in Houston, Texas were also on ground at the ceremony. In his remarks, the chairman of the association, Pastor Bolu Alabi, said Ekiti indigents in Houston instituted this year's award for best students in the last junior secondary school certificate examination to encourage healthy rivalry and academic excellence in the state, as the association plans to impact on other sectors that affect the people and society.
This maiden edition is to kickstart what we believe will eventually become an award that will cover all the secondary schools in the state every blessed year. We have already met with the VC of the two state-owned universities in the state, and we have offered academic endowments. There are plans to do much more than that. There are also plans by the association to be impactful in other sectors of the economy, like healthcare, industries, science, technology, and so on.
Pastor Alabi said the initiative was to complement Governor Biodun Ibanji's feat in the sector. He said there was no shortcut to success and charged the students to be more committed to their studies. Checks of 50,000 naira were presented to each student by some members of the association, Mrs. Yetunde Alabi and Mrs. Fulusho Cholola, as well as the DG, Community Communication, Mrs. Mary Osho, the chairman of the occasion, and former managing director of Skybank, Mr. Olufemi Bakari, observes that indigenes of the state who sojourn in the foreign lands work tirelessly to survive and thank those in Eastern Texas for giving back to their states of origin. Our guest lecturer, Professor Wole Olaiya, who spoke on education in the season of Japa, says in the current reality, students can survive in the sector through qualitative education to engender intelligence, character, and success.
Education is the process of acquiring knowledge, developing the process of reasoning and judgment. It is about generally preparing for mature life.
The Onishan Oba Gabriel Adejuwon, Ogoga Oba Adejimiadu, Olora Oba Peter Dayamola, and Chief Shegun Ajibulu commended the efforts of members of the Ektv Association in Houston, Texas for the initiative and urged the students to justify the largesse in their academics.
The student, I'm appealing to you. Someone is giving you now. You should have the mind of giving back in the future.
I mean, to be great, so that you can also do this type of thing to people who are coming behind you.
The students thanked the Ektv Association in Houston, Texas for the prize awards and promised to keep the flag flying.
So happy and glad that I'm part of this program. The award is actually an encouragement for me to do well.
Toba Babalola reporting.
You're watching the news at 7, coming to you from Ektv Television. We'll now take a commercial break.
Milo 3-in-1 Milky and Creamy is truly milky and contains calcium. No need to add milk for that rich, creamy cup, which helps to nourish and energize your kids. Milo. The new Milo.
Welcome back. The Commissioner for Transportation, Mr. Kehinde Ajobiewe, has raised an alarm over the imminent threat posed by unregistered vehicles, tricycles and motorcycles to road safety and security within the state. Ajobiewe, during a chat with newsmen in Ado, noted that the unregistered vehicles often bypass essential inspections and regulations. He declared that such vehicles would no longer be permitted to plough the roads, citing illicit activities associated with them. The Commissioner said that enforcement would commence early next year to put sanity into the transportation system. The manifesto night of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, Ekiti State Council, is ongoing at the NUJ Secretariat at Okebarike in Ado, and a new set of officers who will pilot the affairs of the union for the next 3 years will emerge tomorrow. The Ekiti State Police Command has described as false alarm that a bank in Ado was attacked by a group of armed robbers today. According to its PPRO, Sunday Abutu, the false alarm was an imagination of some fake news peddlers and enemies of the state who derive joy in causing unnecessary apprehension in the state. The Commissioner of Police, Dari Ogundari, has in the meantime ordered the deployment of more tactical and intelligence teams across the state, especially around banking areas, to ensure that there is no attack or breach of peace anywhere in the state. An Ekiti State Chief Magistrate Court in Ado-Ekiti has sentenced one self-professed herbalist, Nuruddin Ibrahim, to 5 years imprisonment for conspiracy, false pretense with intent to defraud, and indecent assault. The 58-year-old Ibrahim, with others now at large, was said to have defrauded one Yinka at Aramoko Ekiti of 10.4 million naira under pretense to help find solution to her problems. The victim, in her testimony, said she was a businesswoman based in Lagos but had problems with her business sometimes in 2019. Delivering his judgment, Magistrate Olatomiwa Daramola found the defendant guilty of offense of false pretense to defraud and sentenced him to 5 years imprisonment with an option of restitution of 8 million naira being the amount the convict admitted to have obtained from the victim. Still on court cases, the Supreme Court has reserved judgment in the appeals filed by the Labour Party and the People's Democratic Party (PDP) challenging the victory of the Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. The Apex Court adjourned the matter for judgment after council adopted their briefs. The Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria (TRCN) has said that close to 4,000 teachers were unsuccessful in the November 2023 professional qualifying examinations conducted nationwide. The registrar of the body, Professor Josiah Ajiboye, gave the information during an interactive session with journalists. Ajiboye said that the aim of the examination was to evaluate the professional expertise of educators in the country. The registrar noted that some candidates were absent during the examination while others faced result cancellation due to their involvement in examination malpractices. The Director General of the Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau, Alex Bardin, has promised to work with relevant agencies to prioritize safety and zero accidents in air, land and water transportation in the country. Bade, in a statement while taking over from his predecessor Akinola Teru in Abuja, said that the vision included ensuring that Nigerian skies are the safest in Africa. He noted that his vision was not to simply react to accidents, but would proactively prevent them from occurring. Parties involved in the political crisis in Rivers State have reached a truce following the intervention of President Bola Tinubu. The meeting held at the Aso Rock Villa, Abuja, had in attendance the Rivers State Governor, Simi Fubara, his deputy, Mrs. Ngozi Odu, a former governor of the state, Peter Odili, and the immediate past governor of the state, Nyesom Wike, among other stakeholders. Also present at the meeting were the Vice President, Kashim Shettima, the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, and the Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajabiamila. Tinubu directed that all legal actions instituted by Fubara and his team be withdrawn and that all impeachment proceedings initiated by the Rivers Assembly be dropped. Foreign news: rescuers in remote villages in northwest China have dug through the rubble of collapsed homes after China's deadliest earthquake in years killed at least 118 people and injured hundreds. Report from Gansu province of China says a shallow tremor before midnight caused the deaths of at least 105 and injured almost 400 this morning. The quake damaged thousands of homes and sent residents running into the freezing streets for safety. The quake was China's deadliest since 2014, when more than 600 people died in southwestern Yunnan province. And that's the news at 7. Thank you very much for watching and have a lovely evening.
kálẹ̀ ẹ̀sìnkú iṣẹ́ látòrọ ẹ̀káàbọ̀ sórí ìròyìn lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ fún tàṣálẹ́ òní. Gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Èkìtì ọ̀gbẹ́ni Bíọ́dún Oyèbánjí ti sọ pé òun ti pinnu iye owó tóun yóò san fáwọn òṣìṣẹ́ ọba ní ìpínlẹ̀ yìí gbogbo ìrànwọ́ ní ìbámu pẹ̀lú owó tó wà lásùnwọ̀n ìjọba. Oyèbánjí ló kéde ọ̀rọ̀ yìí lásìkò àkànṣe orin kérésì àti ẹ̀kọ́ mẹ́sàn-án ti bíbélì tó wáyé ní gbọ̀ngàn Ọbáfẹ́mi Awólọ́wọ̀ nílùú Àdó Èkìtì. Gómìnà láyà rẹ̀ ọ̀mọ̀wé Ọláyẹmí Abíọ́dún Oyèbánjí, igbákejì gómìnà Ọ̀kíndọ́ Àmúnisádé Afúyẹ́, akọ̀wé ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ yìí, olórí òṣìṣẹ́ ọba àtàwọn aráàlú mìíràn bá kọrin níbi ètò náà. Olórí òṣìṣẹ́ ọba ní ìpínlẹ̀ yìí ọ̀gbẹ́ni Sunday Kọ́mọláfẹ́ ti ṣèlérí pé ìjọba yóò sanwó ìrànwọ́ fáwọn òṣìṣẹ́ ọba ní ìpínlẹ̀ yìí nípa àdínkù ìnira yíyọ owó ìrànwọ́ epo. Kọ́mọláfẹ́ ló sọ̀rọ̀ yìí lásìkò tó ń kópa lórí ètò Daybreak Nigeria lórí Ektv lára ètò láti sàmì ọ̀sẹ̀ àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ ọba fọ́dún yìí. Àjọ̀dún ọ̀sẹ̀ àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ ọba ní ìpínlẹ̀ yìí ni yóò máa tẹ̀síwájú lọ́la lásìkò tí olórí òṣìṣẹ́ ọba yóò máa ṣèpàdé pẹ̀lú àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ oní ìpele kejì sí ìpele kẹfà láago 10 òwúrọ̀ sí aago 12 ní gbọ̀ngàn àṣà nílùú Àdó, nígbà táwọn òṣìṣẹ́ oní ìpele keje sí ìpele tó ga yóò ṣèpàdé tiwọn láago 1 sí aago 3 ọ̀sán. Ọjọ́ Ọjọ́bọ̀ ni ètò gbálùmọ́ káàkiri iléeṣẹ́ ọba àti lájọ̀lájọ̀ ìjọba tí gómìnà Bíọ́dún Oyèbánjí yóò sì fún òṣìṣẹ́ tó dágájá jùlọ lámì ẹ̀yẹ. Ètò ìsìn jùmọ̀ àti yóò wáyé lọ́jọ́ Ẹtì, nígbà tí àkànṣe ètò ìsìndúpẹ́ yóò wáyé lọ́jọ́ ìsinmi nílé ìjọsìn iléèwé ìjọba. Ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Èkìtì ṣèlérí fáwọn ẹbí àti ojúlùmọ̀ àwọn tó ṣubú lójú ogun ètò ìgbáyégbádùn tó dára. Gómìnà Bíọ́dún Oyèbánjí ló ṣèlérí yìí lásìkò ìfilọ́lẹ̀ àmì fẹ́tò ìrántí àwọn tó ṣubú lójú ìjà ọdún 2024 bí ètò tó wáyé ní gbọ̀ngàn lè dúró níléègbé ìjọba nílùú Àdó. Gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Èkìtì ọ̀gbẹ́ni Bíọ́dún Oyèbánjí ti ké pé fún ìdápadà àwọn iṣẹ́ ọnà àti àṣà tí agbẹ́gilére ní olóògbé Ọlọ́wẹ̀ ṣe. Gómìnà Oyèbánjí ló fún ìpè yìí lásìkò tó ṣàbẹ̀wò sí ilé olóògbé náà nílùú Èkìtì pẹ̀lú ìlérí láti ṣàtúnkọ́ ilé náà kí wọ́n sì sọdá oríkò ìkó nǹkan ìṣẹ̀ǹbáyé pamọ́ sí pẹ̀lú àtúnṣe tó dára tí yóò wuyì káàkiri àgbáyé. Igbákejì gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Èkìtì Ọ̀kíndọ́ Àmúnisádé Afúyẹ́ ti ṣèlérí ìgbáradì ìjọba láti kápá ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ ìsáǹsá nílé ẹ̀kọ́, rírọ wípọ̀ àti àìníṣẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ní ìpínlẹ̀ yìí. Ọ̀kíndọ́ Àfúyẹ́ ló ṣèlérí yìí lásìkò tó ń gbàlejò ẹni à ń fọ̀rọ̀ lọ̀ fẹ́kùn ìwọ̀ oòrùn nípa ìdàgbàsókè ọmọ ẹ̀dá ọ̀mọ̀wé Adéyẹyè Adéyanjú lọ́fíìsì rẹ̀ nílùú Àdó. Ó yè pé gómìnà Bíọ́dún Oyèbánjí ló ti ṣe iṣẹ́ takuntakun lẹ́ka ètò ìlera fáwọn olùgbé, gbígba ọ̀pọ̀ èèyàn sẹ́nu iṣẹ́ ọba. Ó júwe ìdàgbàsókè ọmọ ẹ̀dá bí òkúkọ pàtàkì létò ìjọba. Lọ́nà mìíràn ẹ̀wẹ̀, ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Èkìtì ló ti pàṣẹ fún ìgbìmọ̀ tó wà nípa ṣíṣe ìdásí ọ̀rọ̀ nípa aáwọ̀ ààlà ilẹ̀ láti dá sí rògbòdìyàn láàrin ìlú Ẹ̀fọ̀n àti ìpínlẹ̀ Ìlọ́rọ̀ láti dènà ìjàmbá. Àwọn ìgbìmọ̀ náà ni akọ̀wé àgbà lọ́fíìsì igbákejì gómìnà ọ̀gbẹ́ni Àbáyọ̀mí Ọ̀pẹ́yẹmí, wọ́lẹ̀wọ́lẹ̀ àgbà ní ìpínlẹ̀ yìí ọ̀gbẹ́ni Adébáyọ̀ Fálétò àtàwọn míì. Ó fi mọ́ akọ̀wé àjọ tó ń ṣàmójútó ọ̀rọ̀ ààlà ilẹ̀ ọ̀gbẹ́ni Ọlálékan Ọlájídé. Ètò ààbò náà ni wọ́n rọ̀ wọ́n láti ṣàbẹ̀wò sí ibùdó náà láti mọ ẹni tó ní ìwàjí láàrin ìlú méjèèjì. Bí ọ̀gọ̀rọ̀ àwọn èèyàn káàkiri ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ mẹ́ta ní ìpínlẹ̀ Èkìtì ló ti gba ẹ̀bùn ọdún látọwọ́ gómìnà Bíọ́dún Oyèbánjí níbi àkànṣe ètò ojúṣe báò. Ikọ̀ náà tí bọ́bájírò pàtàkì sí gómìnà lọ́fíìsì gómìnà arábìnrin Ṣọlá Àbíkósọ̀dé ló ṣàbẹ̀wò sí ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ Ọ̀yẹ́gbọ́nyìn àti ìlà oòrùn Èkìtì. Ẹ̀wẹ̀, ikọ̀ ojúṣe báò ló ń tẹ̀síwájú pẹ̀lú ètò ìrànwọ́ gómìnà lábẹ́ ètò láti ṣèrànwọ́ fáwọn èèyàn níjọba ìbílẹ̀ South West Gbọ́nyìn àti Ìkọ̀lé. Ibi àkànṣe ètò náà ni wọ́n ti ṣe ìtọrẹ fún àwọn tó kù díẹ̀ káàtó fún láwùjọ tí gómìnà ṣètò ìrànlọ́wọ́ fún wọn nípa ẹ̀bùn ọdún. Yomi Ọlájítẹ̀mù tó bá wọn kọ́ wọn rìn sọ wípé olùrànwọ́ sí gómìnà lọ́fíìsì gómìnà arábìnrin Ṣọlá Àbí ṣàlàyé fáwọn ikọ̀ náà nílùú Ìgbàrodò àìsẹ̀gbá ìlú ọmọọba Ìjẹ̀ṣà Iṣu àti odò ọ̀rọ̀ ní ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ Ìkọ̀lé láti ṣe ìrànwọ́ fún wọn. Wọ́n pín ẹ̀bùn owó bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti bí ẹgbẹ̀rún 5 sí 10 tí wọ́n pín fáwọn tó ń ta ọjà fún ọ̀gọ̀rọ̀ àwọn arúgbó pẹ̀lú oúnjẹ ọdún. Bí akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ 22 nílé ẹ̀kọ́ girama ní ìpínlẹ̀ Èkìtì tó tayọ lẹ́nu ẹ̀kọ́ wọn, ẹgbẹ́ àwọn ọmọ Èkìtì ní Houston, Texas ní orílẹ̀-èdè Amẹ́ríkà ti fún lẹ́bùn. Ètò náà tó wáyé lóríkò ẹgbẹ́ akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ jáde ní ìlú Àdó. Kọmíṣánná àfẹ́tò ìgbòkègbodò ọkọ̀ ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Kẹ́hìndé Àjọbíewé ti tẹnumọ́ ìdí pàtàkì tó fi jẹ́ pé àwọn ọkọ̀ tí wọn kò fi orúkọ wọn sílẹ̀ àti kẹ̀kẹ́ àti alùpùpù ló léwu fétò ààbò ìpínlẹ̀ yìí. Àjọbíewé lásìkò ìfọ̀rọ̀wérọ̀ pẹ̀lú àwọn oníròyìn nílùú Adówòye pé àwọn ọkọ̀ tí wọn kò forúkọ wọn sílẹ̀ ló jẹ́ pé ó lè ṣàkóbá. Ó kéde wípé àwọn ọkọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni wọn kò gbúdọ̀ fàyè gbà láti rìn ní ojú pópó. Àjọ ọlọ́pàá ní ìpínlẹ̀ Èkìtì ti júwe bí irọ́ funfun báláú àwọn ìbòsí kan tí àwọn kan ké nílùú Àdó lẹ́nu wípé àwọn adigunjalè ṣe àkọlù sí ilé ìfowópamọ́. Alukoro àjọ náà Sunday Abutu sọ wípé ìròyìn èké náà ló jẹ́ eléyìí tí àwọn ọ̀tá ìlú gbèrò rẹ̀ lọ́kàn wọn tí wọ́n sì fi dá ìpòrúurú sọ́kàn àwọn èèyàn láwùjọ. Kọmíṣánná ọlọ́pàá Dáre Ògúndáre sọ wípé àwọn ọlọ́pàá ni wọ́n ti kó ikọ̀ wọn káàkiri agbègbè ní ìpínlẹ̀ yìí láti rí wípé ètò ààbò tó dájú ń bẹ. Ilé ẹjọ́ tó ga jùlọ ní ilẹ̀ yìí ló ti dáwọ́rọ́ lórí ìdájọ́ nípa ẹjọ́ tí ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú Labour àti PDP pè tako ìjáwé olórí gómìnà Babájídé Sanwó-Olú. Ilé ẹjọ́ tó ga jùlọ náà ló ti sún ìdájọ́ náà síwájú. Àjọ tó ń ṣàmójútó ètò ìforúkọsílẹ̀ àwọn olùkọ́ ní Nàìjíríà sọ pé ó lé lẹ́gbẹ̀rún 4 àwọn tó kópa létò ìdánwò náà tó kùnà létò ìdánwò tí wọ́n ṣe lórílẹ̀‐èdè yìí. Akọ̀wé àjọ náà Dùgbòjù Sáyà Ajíbóyè ló sọ̀rọ̀ yìí fáwọn oníròyìn níwọ̀n sọ pé ìdánwò náà ló wà láti ṣàgbéyẹ̀wò àwọn olùkópa. Àwọn náà sọ pé ọ̀pọ̀ àwọn olùkópa ni kò wá fétò ìdánwò ọ̀hún. Elópin ìròyìn lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ fún tàṣálẹ́ òní dàpọ̀ pẹ̀lú wa ní ọ̀la fún àkọ́tún ìròyìn. Nígbà náà ó dàárọ̀ ire o.